victory in May only to be stymied by the military and the royalists who see the Harvard-educated reformer as a threat to the monarchy. Younger generations, the need and the demand for reform wherever it might be, in the West, in Asia, in all over. What is going to happen to your supporters, to the protesters who are in the streets, to the very idea of democracy in Thailand if somebody who won the election is simply barred from taking his seat?
I think what the protesters are demanding is that in any functioning democracy, whoever wins the election should become the prime minister and have both the authority and the legitimacy to lead. However, the current situation in Thailand, if just to give some context to the viewer, is the clash between the politics of elected and appointed. The lower house is through election, which I won. The upper house, the senators are appointed by the military junta after the coup. So because of that, to choose a prime minister, you have to have the consensus of both the elected officials as well as the appointed officials. So that's basically Thai political landscape in a nutshell.
So what is
going on official level?
What is your recourse then? Because your opponents have accused you of essentially disqualifying yourself because of holding shares in a media company. What is that all about?
It's a made-up case against my prime ministerial candidacy. The fact is, I don't even own the shares. My late father owned it. It's a defunct media company that closed down 17 years ago, and I can never get any political gains from holding those shares as an inheritance management. However, with the coincidence, the case against me was decided 2 hours before my prime ministerial election in the parliament. So that's a kind of coincidence that begs skepticism from both the Thai media as well as the international media that follow Thai politics pretty closely.
But could it... What is your resource going to be, your resort going to be? Because, they say you might be suspended. Not only won't you become prime minister, you might not even have the opportunity to continue in parliament. Can you use this accusation to your benefit? Do you think you can win a case and somehow revive your political career?
Well, first thing first, my renomination as the Prime Minister of Thailand is still possible. A lot of cases that was done against me, if as per your question, what can I do? At the very minimum, the right to appeal, the right to argue my case, the right to tell my side of the story. That is just the minimum that I could ask for, but currently I don't get any of those chances to testify nor appeal the cases that were made up against me and against my prime ministerial candidacy, but that continues to be seen. If there was a call from the Constitutional Court for me to argue my case and explain my rationales for holding those chairs from my late father as the inheritance manager, hopefully that will clear things up and hopefully my candidacy is back on track.
So there's a lot of hopefully going on there, and let's see what is most likely. Some of your own supporters say that perhaps you may have dug yourself your own hole to an extent, because it appears that a lot of this pushback against you is that is around the law that's called lèse-majesté, which in Thailand forbids, under punishment of 15 years or so in prison, any mocking, any opposition, any public criticism of the royalty. And you, in your campaign, try to mitigate that. In other words, you had wanted, you didn't talk about getting rid of it. You actually talked about perhaps reducing, the harsh response and sentences. Do you regret that?
Not at all. I think, in a nutshell, I think for Thailand to remain a constitutional monarchy is the goal of everyone here in Thailand. There's no alternative way of governance. However, the assessment of how to reach that goal for Thailand to remain a constitutional monarchy is different. Some of the people that were against my attempt to modify the lèse-majesté law might say that it allows criticism of the monarchy, but for us, I think if you modify lèse-majesté law to be on the international par that allows, that does not permit or does not allow political opponents to bring monarchy down to the level of politics and use the monarchy to destroy the political opponents using Article 112 or the Royal Defamation Law. So what we are trying to do is to remain a constitutional monarchy and keep the monarchy above the politics where monarchy is supposed to be in any country that is governed by constitutional monarchy. But apparently people use that as a weapon against us to destroy us. It's not the first time in Thai history. I mean, if you follow Thai politics closely, in every decade, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, monarchy would be used for political advantage, which is what we are trying to stop, so that we can get out of the political conflict, have the concentration to be an active member of the international community. That's what we're trying to do.
And you mentioned Thailand, your country, has been ruled by a military junta since the coup in 2014 struck down the previous democratic government. Is it just that they are concerned about your critics, or what other reforms were you trying and did you campaign on that obviously got the opponents and the ruling opponents to basically just stop you?
I think the reason for existence of my party, Move Forward Party, it can be summarized in a sentence. That's 3 Ds: to demonopolize, to decentralize, and de-Thailand. Obviously, it requires a lot of hard-headed reforms to take military out of Thai politics, to make sure that the military is professional and up to date with the current challenges of the 21st century. Also to demonopolize the economic structure of Thailand, as well as the governance in the public service, to decentralize to various parts of Thailand. Bangkok is not Thailand, and Thailand is not Bangkok. So obviously, as you can imagine, that there would be some resistance from the military, from resistance from khaki capitalism, the resistance from public servants here in Thailand. But I think if I have enough time to persuade them and to explain and to convince them that it's really a win-win situation and it is really a way out for Thailand to move forward given the current challenges in the global arena and how we can become an active member in the national community and get back to the to the current state of the world.
So finally, first, the message to your supporters. I want to know what you're going to tell them because they're still on the street. And secondly, would you endorse, if it came to it, the pro-democracy party that got the second number of votes, Futai, it got the second largest votes in this recent election. Would you endorse them?
Okay, there's 3 steps to your question, so let me...
Okay, we got 90 seconds. We got 90 seconds.
Yes, first of all, to the supporters, we will win definitely, if not immediately. So hopefully we'll be able to collect small victories so that we can move the country forward. Yes, I endorse to support the second victorious party, Pheu-thai party, Thaksin and Shinawatра's party, to form a coalition, because it's not just about a personal goal for me to become prime minister, but I think it's...
Now, imagine winning a general election, but being blocked by Parliament from becoming prime minister. That's what's